Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been listening to the sessions, obviously, and running the sessions for 2 days, but I've been hanging out to bring this to you because this is how I world school by having my own business. And for those of you who don't know, I run an agency and I coach business owners. I'm a business strategist. I mentioned it on day one, from everywhere from beginners all the way up to seven-figure business owners. But what we're talking about today is the thing that allowed me and my family to take our lives internationally. And so that's all. I'm really excited. All right, so let's just get started because I know you're busy and I want to get through this quickly. All right. So what we're talking about is how to earn 30K plus per month as a freelancer on your terms and without burning out. Now, I know that for a lot of you, those numbers, like that number there, when I first saw that number, what I remembered was, oh my gosh, my mum, as a single mum of 4, used to earn like 30K per year. So the thought of earning 30K per month, I thought, like, I did not come from that. The thought of that blew my mind. The first time that I did that kind of money in my business, I literally cried and I had to call my friend. Like, this might not be your norm. This might not be where you come from. Maybe this is like total small fry for you. But what I find is that a lot of people get stuck as a freelancer from hard work in the like they get stuck around that 20, 30K mark. And so there's a right way to do this in terms of time and money and location freedom that's going to get you there. And then there's the way that's like hustle, hard work, that is kind of like cobble it all together, that will get you to potentially like this kind of 20K-ish per month mark, but like busting a gut, working all the time, drowning in client work. And so what we're going to talk about today is how to not do that, how to actually do this in a way that gives you the time and money and location freedom that you want from your business. Because like the truth is, if you want to go internationally with your family, or even just where you are, if you want to travel with your family long term, there's not many employers that allow that amount of flexibility. So for me, running a business is the only way that many of us can do this. And that is truly and solely the main reason why I started this summit. And it is definitely the reason why I do what I do and I have for 7 years. So that is because having a business gives you freedom, right? And like I mentioned, this is not a world that I came from. This was learned, and having a business now allows me to work part-time, to travel for half the year with my family, to have my husband home with me, to homeschool my kids. It has truly given me the life that I always wanted. And that always wanted has evolved because I didn't think that I could have this. And I want that level of freedom and that level of like control over your lives, in terms of like having that freedom, that whatever that means to you, I want as many people to have that as possible. So let's get into it. Let me see whether I got my things going on. Okay. For those of you who don't know, this is a little bit about me. This is my beautiful family. This was when we were in Hoi An in Vietnam earlier this year. We spent 2 months traveling. This was our first foray into the world schooling. We've been homeschooling for 2 years, but this was our first trip of like, do we actually like traveling with children? The answer is yes, we love traveling. And so we're doing a lot more of it next year, but that is that. You will see here that this is me. I haven't done this slide for a while. I have a podcast. I've had that since 2019. This is me and my beautiful husband. We lived by the beach and I love just hanging out. I did a TEDx talk like a month ago, which was the biggest growth experience of my entire life. That is me hosting an event. So I'm showing you this to show you that, to give you a little snippet of where I'm coming from. I've been running my business for 7 years from nothing. I have done I've made every mistake that you could possibly think of, from hiring to spending money on things that I really didn't need, to working 80 hours a week in my business and getting burnt out, even though I started it to spend more time with my kids. Hopefully you can see that this is not new. I am actually living what I am about to tell you, and I know what I'm talking about. So that's what this slide is. This is the I know what I'm talking about slide. Okay, let's get into this. I would like you to ask yourself 3 questions. And if you're listening on the replay, pop the answers to these into the chat. And I can't see my notes. Hang on a second. We've got some tech things happening. Oh, I got 2 screens. I haven't done 2 screens before. Oh, there we are. Okay, that's better. Phew, I think. Okay, so 3 questions. Tell me in the chat what it is that you do if you have a business, or what you would do if you did have a business. Now, what I'm talking about here is a B2B service. So what I teach and what I do is selling a service, a skill to a business. So this is going to be most applicable to you if you want to be a virtual assistant, and an online business manager, a online marketer, a social media manager, a graphic designer, like anything like that where you are selling your skills as a service, but it doesn't have to be. So you can adjust these things to suit you, but I'm going to speak to that model because that's what I've done multiple times. I didn't tell you, but I've had 2 multiple 6-figure agencies over the time period. I've coached, I don't know, like 1,000 women plus at this point on providing a high ticket B2B service. So tell me, what would that be? And tell me in the chat what that would be. And if you don't know, think about a solution that you could provide for a business, given the skills that you already have or that you could get pretty easily. So not something that's going to take you, a bajillion years to go and do, but something that you could do pretty easily given the skills and experience that you already have. The second question is, if you've got a business already, tell me what your average dollar per client per month is. Or just write these down for yourself. Write down what your average cost per client, like fee in income per client per month is. And I want you to write down what your income is now and what you want it to be. Now, you don't have to share that in the chat, right? You don't have to share anything about the money stuff in the chat if you want to. I love talking about money, so, chuck it in there. But I want you to think for yourself and write down what your income is per month now and what you want it to be. And then what becomes really clear is if your income right now is $5K a month and you want it to be $20K per month, there's a $15K per month gap, right? And I want you to feel that. I want you to feel the weight of in between where you are and where you want to be. Now, I am not telling you this to make you feel bad about anything or make none of that. Don't sit in that guilt, shame, none of that bad feeling stuff. This is just awareness. Step above it. I want you to know then that number that you want is possible and it's not that far away. It's not complicated. And we're going to talk exactly through today in this session about how to move you from where you are to where you want to be. And the only reason I want you to feel the weight of the disparity between where you are and where you want to be is because I want you to feel inspired to actually take action after this, because we can all listen and we can all we can consume information, and you've been consuming information for 3 days. This is the summit, right? That's what it is. It's lots of talks. You can't do any doing. You have to do all the listening. And that's why I've got my this session last, because I want you to take action now. If you want a business and you want to grow your business, then you are in the right place. I'm not going to sell you anything today, so don't get thinking that this is like some weird sales tactic. This is only something to help you to then go and take action on what I'm telling you today. But again, I'm not selling, there is nothing to buy today, okay? So I'm not going to like switch this around into something. I will tell you right at the end how you can book a call with me and how I can help you to like give you a plan if you want to. Again, no pitch. So write down where you are, where you want to be, feel the weight of it. Hopefully that will inspire you to lean in and realize that you can achieve that number, and it's just action that's in the way. We're the only things that get in our way. All right. So scale. Scale is where you earn more money, but you're not doing any more work. Okay? So how do we scale? How do we scale a business? What gets in the way of us scaling? Typically, we cannot have the time and money freedom that we want because we are overworking, we are undercharging, and we are stressed out because of it, right? That is what is getting in the way of that time and money freedom that you want. What are we going to do about it? If you are undercharging, what we need is a better strategy. We need a better strategy around an offer. We need a better strategy around communication. If you are stressed out, it's because you don't have the right systems in place to be able to manage everything efficiently. And I know what that's like. At the moment, we are totally moving CRMs. We're moving from ClickUp to Monday. And I feel today like I have no idea what's going on in the business. And of course I do, and my team have it. But when I go to look at like nothing's up to date in my project management system, I don't have a system. And so I'm not stressed out yet. If this went on for multiple days, it would stress me out. But that feeling of like, oh, I don't even like, we can't hold everything in our brain, right? We just can't. And so we need systems. And if you are overworking, like hands up, I'm guilty too, definitely a lot of the time, not recently, but definitely have been there. What we need is support. And so I'm going to talk you through today different aspects of this strategy, systems, and support. This is my CEO framework. This is what I teach people on every level that I work with, from all the way from one-on-one coaching to my Freelancer Launchpad program that helps people get to 10K months, and my agency academy that helps people go from 30K months to above. So this is the framework. And then it actually goes deeper. From strategy, what we need to do is design the life that we want to live, because otherwise we're living someone else's dream, right? We're walking up a mountain and we don't know if we want to get to the top. We want to design our life. And then once we know what life we want to live, we design our business to match. If you want to do that, ask me. I have a business by design course. If you get the VIP, you get that course for free. If you get the VIP summit. Part of our strategy is also our funnel. How are we going to make money? Because even though we probably didn't get into our businesses to do marketing, unless you're a marketer, but every company is a marketing company. We need to have a funnel to move people through our business. And we don't want to be doing that with our hands every single step because we don't get that freedom. The systems that we need in order to do this freelancing gig well, so we need a sales system, an onboarding system, and a delivery system. Sales, how are we going to actually convert people? How are we going to onboard them? What does that process look like? This is the onboarding thing that actually cost me a lot in my business early on. So it's really important that we get this right. And delivery. How do we get the delivery right so that we're delivering excellence without having to do it all ourselves? Or even if it is all you, how do we do this with excellence without burning out and make sure they get results so that they stay? And support. What does that actually mean? Support in terms of team. No, you don't have to have a team of 10 or 5 or even like 3. You probably want at least one support person, which we'll talk about later. Mindset is going to support everything, as we'll talk about in a couple of slides. We need mindset because we are the CEO, right? We are the leader of our business, and we need a good network. What does that actually look like? For me, my husband's a big part of that. Like I'm not doing this all by myself. You wouldn't want to. So this is the full CEO framework. What I want you to do is I want you to think about each one of these areas, and I want you to rate yourself, traffic light yourself on how well you're doing in each one of these areas, how well you think you've got this nailed. So like a green as in like, this is perfect. I know exactly what I'm doing. This is great. Like I'm awesome. I don't need your help, Annelise. Orange and like, yeah, I think like it's chugging along. I've got some things in place, maybe not consistently. And red is like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's going on. What the heck is that? So red needs attention urgently. Orange, chunking along. Green, got it sorted. I want you to rate yourself in all of them. So if we think about strategy and life by design, how well have you articulated what you want out of life in terms of, for me, I want to work 3 days a week or like 3 hours a day, kind of those type of hours, like 15, 20 hours max a week. I want to be location independent. I want to be able to travel with my family. I want to have my husband around me. Like, what does that life by design look like? I want to exercise every day. I want to be able to have time to learn a language. I love to dance. I love to go out with my friends. I love to, what does your life look like? Your ideal life, not on a vacation day, every single day. What does that look like? And then your business. How well have you articulated your business to earn you what you want to earn that supports the life you want to live? So that you know, okay, I need 10 clients that pay me $3,000 a month. I need, like, how well have you articulated that? Red, orange, green. With your funnel, do you have a consistent way to bring people into your world? To get in front of new people, to nurture them? Have you got that dialed in? Do you have a funnel that is actually converting people and getting you sales calls booked? Red, yellow, green. All right, systems, sales. How good are you at sales calls? Do you convert 1 in 2? Do you convert 1 in 3? Do you even have a system? Where are we on the sales? What about onboarding? Do you have a solid onboarding process for your business? So if you got a client today, do you have an automated link that you can send them to that will move them to a contract, that will help them to pay, that will get them to fill out the form? Like, have you got a system where you don't have to rely on yourself to move them through and get paid and get started with that client? What does that first month look like with the client? Is it seamless? Is it clunky? Does it take too much of your time? What are you going to rate yourself? And delivery. How well can you deliver? Do you feel organized? Do you know what's going on? Does anyone in your team, are they able to log in at any time and have a look exactly where things are at? How are the results that you're getting your clients? What is the delivery like? Red, yellow, green. All right, support, team. Do we love our team? Do we have a team? Do you have support? Are you doing everything in your business and you hate it? Have you got a dream team of people that are like just doing all the things? It's where I'm at the moment. Total green, love it. It's not always like that in business, you'll probably know. All right, mindset. Where are you on that? Have you got a morning routine? Are you growing constantly? Do you know what you need to work on and are you working on it? If you know that you need negotiation skills, are you learning them? If you know that you need public speaking or camera skills, are you learning them? That's all to do with mindset. How are you feeling about your business? Do you have a CEO mindset? And your network. How would you rate your network? Is it awesome? Are they referring people to you? Do you have support at home? Do you have your cleaner or your chef or like whatever that looks like for you? What is your network like? Red, orange, green. And dream big, people. Like whatever you want, you get to have it. Not tomorrow, because it's all going to take work. But I believe if you are listening to this, if you have an internet connection and you have drive enough to be listening to me right now, you can have what you want. You can have it. You're going to have to work for it. It's going to probably take more from you than you expect in terms of energy and effort. Like I did TEDx a month ago and it drained me. It drained me. It took so much from me. It was like a steep, brutal learning curve. And it drained me. I did it. I'm so proud of myself. It was fun in the end. Like on this side of it, it's fun. But it took more from me. And a business is the same, right? It always takes longer and it takes more work than we think. All right, now that you've rated yourself, oops, this is the business order one. I want you to look at your sheet or look at your note paper, whatever you've done, and identify the 3 things that you know that you need to work on. Again, we're not doing this to sit in like the, oh my gosh, like this, I'm so far from where I want to be. I've got all reds, like, or if you've got all greens, amazing. I doubt it. Not many people have all greens, me included, because we grow, our business goals grow and we refine and we optimize on people are people and all of the things. So what are 3 changes you know you need to make? I want you to circle them or write them down, dot point them, pop them in the chat if you want to. Let me know. What are 3 changes that you need to make? Okay. Let me just come back here. This is so tricky with both of these things. Okay. Where the difference between staying where you are and making those changes, the thing that's going to make you make those changes and strive for that thing that you want is the difference between having typically a freelancer mindset. If you're already earning money in your business, it's that freelancer mindset or the employee mindset that a lot of us get stuck in, right? I am my business. If you are your business, you don't get freedom from your business. That's not what we want. It's not why you're world schooling. So we're stuck in that freelancer mindset versus that CEO mindset. And that's a big shift. It's a really big shift, and it's something that maybe we have to come back to every single day. For me, it's reinforced in my morning routine every single day. But things that I believe about myself, about being a leader, around the things that I'm going after, I remind myself every day and I get clear on those things. The difference is that. And where will you be in a year's time if you stay doing what you are doing? And where might you be in a year's time if you decide to put yourself into that role of CEO? Where might you be if you make decisions from a CEO mindset of knowing that that thing that you want, that vision that you want is possible? Where might you be? Do you think that maybe it might be the difference between that income number that you are and that income number that you want to be? Let's keep going. All right. So the CEO framework is broad. There is 9 components to this. This is what I teach over 12 months plus in the Agency Academy. Today, we don't have time to dive into all of this. So I've decided on the 3 that I think are most powerful. 1, business design. 2, funnel. And 3, team. I know we're not getting into systems today, but that's going to be pretty nitty gritty. I think the strategy part is a lot more potent for where many of you are going to be at. Hopefully you've got the life design nailed down. So let's get into that business design and funnel. And let's talk about team. All good with that? Tell me in the chat how you're feeling. And here we have a star. This is our North Star or our guiding star. And this is where you design your business. All it takes is 5 decisions. And if you want to go through a longer version of this process, I have a freebie. Check out on Instagram. I might put the link there, but it's at Annelise Worn on Instagram. You'll find in my links. The first one is a 6-figure freelancer guide. It walks you through this process in detail, lots of questions, and you actually help create your strategy more than we're going to talk about here in a 6-figure freelancer guide. But I want you to write on this piece of paper or write in your book the 5 decisions that you're going to make that are going to be your guiding star for every other decision that you make in your business, including the type of clients that you take on, how much you charge, what your team looks like, what projects you take on, what marketing you do. All of it is going to be categorized by 5 different decisions. And this is the filter. This is the guiding star. If a decision does not fit into this, if it does not align with the guiding star, it's the wrong decision. That's how powerful this is. So the first one is, how many hours do you want to work? I don't care how you put it in here, like whether that's per week that you want to know, or per month, whatever. How many hours do you want to work? Write that in there. That's 1 point on the star, right? Number 2, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to take home, bring in, have for your family in your bank account, not in the business, in your bank account? How much money? Pop it either, if you're brave, pop it in the chat. All right, clients. How many clients can you work with? And I know maybe you don't know this answer. A lot of people do already know this answer. Like if you're a photographer and you know that you can do 3 shoots a week, well, then you know your answer. If you know that with your current team or for yourself that you can only take on 10 clients, then you know your answer. So how many clients do you want to have to work with? If you can answer that, pop it in there. If it's a guess, totally fine. We need some like waiting music. All right, the next one is your niche. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. You have to niche. If you want to make this whole thing easier, if you want to simplify your marketing by like a million, niche. Now, that does not mean that you need to work with women who are 30, who are whatever. You can niche in so many different ways. I am not picky around that as long as you are narrow. So either you pick an industry, like my agency. My first agency is construction-based marketing agency. It's niched. Typically, we work with custom home builders. Like that's how niche it is, right? Custom home builder marketing. It's niche. Could we do the same thing for other people? Totally. How do you choose your niche? Well, you need to like working with them. You need to want to do that work. They need to be able to pay you what you want to charge, what you want to earn. That's probably some good questions to ask, but niche. So you could niche in the thing that you do, like administration, bookkeeping, maybe even more niche than that though, like podcast production, website development. You could niche that way and do it for everyone, or you can niche per industry. There's so many different ways you can niche. Write your niche down there. For me, I work with B2B service providers. I work with freelancers and agency owners. That's who I work with. Could I work with everyone? Yes. Do I sometimes in my coaching, if they apply and I really like them? Yes. In my agency, do I work with more than just construction? Yes. But on paper, do I have it looks like it's really, really niche. You get to choose outside of that, but our marketing needs to be niche, because if we are not speaking very specifically to someone, we're speaking to nobody. It's general. It's part of the noise. We don't want that. We don't want to be part of the noise. We want to speak specifically, and we can't do that if we don't have a niche. All right, and now with all of those things together, you're hopefully going to be able to figure out what your offer is. Now, you may not be able to do that on the call on here, but that's what the last one is, your offer. We're going to talk more about that. So if you need to leave that for now, then please do. But we're going to talk more about it. But what I mean by offer is, if you know that you want to work 10 hours a week and you want to make $100,000 a year and you want to work with 10 clients, I should have been writing these down because I haven't mapped out this before. Let me see if I can do this. All right, so we've got 100K and we've got 10 clients and we want to work 10 hours. Okay. And you know that you want to work with, let's say, solopreneurs. Okay. You know you want to work with solopreneurs and you're a photographer. That's the example we're going to use. If you want to earn 100K in your business, then we need to around about double it. If you already don't know your profit margin, we need to double it in order to know what our end result is going to be. So this is 10 clients per month. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm getting too confusing. All right. So what you're going to do, I'm going to give up with the numbers. What you're going to do is you're going to divide the amount that you want to earn by the clients that you want to work with. So if you want to earn $200,000 and you want to work with, say you want to earn 20K a month and you want to work with 10 clients a month, then you know what you have to charge per client. You know you have to charge 2K per client, right? That is set. And that's for you to take home the 10K per month. You get to adjust it, and then you come up with your offer in relation to that, going, okay, if I need to charge $2,000 per month per client, what am I going to give them for that? What transformation can I offer? What can I put together that is going to provide them with more value than what I'm asking in return? And that is your offer. So for me, inside my marketing agency, what we do is we offer a full, complete lead generation package, which means we do all of their advertising across platforms, Google, Facebook, all of the things. We do their social media, we do their website updates, we do their SEO, the whole shebang, and that's $3,500 a month, right? It's cheaper than them hiring a marketing person, and all of their marketing is done. So that's what I mean by offer. You package up your offer in relation to how many clients you want to work with and what is going to be the ultimate solution for them. We're going to talk about that ultimate solution. So I'm going to give you an example here of this. So this is Jada, an agency owner who we worked with. And when we started working with her, she was like me and just was saying yes to everything and had said yes to everything. Everything from like, I want one blog post a month to I want every single thing in my marketing done. So she had a marketing agency and was just doing all of these bits and pieces, nothing consistent, right? So she was doing, it was never the same treatment for every client. Every client was on like a custom package. Now, if you're a freelancer, you can probably relate to this. We say yes to everything because we want money in the door and we don't care where it's coming from. It's like, yeah, I've decided to go and have my own business. So of course I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I'll figure it out. My mantra was say yes and figure it out later. Maybe that's yours too. And that gets us to a certain point. So I'm not saying don't do that, but at some point you have to decide to simplify. So lots of different offers and lots of different types of clients. When we get this part wrong, when we say yes to everything, we have too many buckets, right? We have got too many buckets and we are spread too thin and we have limited impact. We cannot keep ourselves organized, right? You can't market properly because you don't have a clear transformation, because sometimes you're doing a blog post and sometimes you're doing the whole package. So nothing works with this package except for you bring some money in the door, but you're probably, like we said at the start, undercharging, overworking, and stressed out. That's not where we want to be. That's not what gives us the time, money, location, freedom. What does is when we identify the person we want to work with who has a business, who we can help, and we offer them the ultimate solution. Right? We figure out what it is exactly that we can offer that business that is going to move that business from where they are to where they want to be. Now, say you do podcast production services. This means that you do more than just publish their podcast or edit it. This means you help them plan in relation to their launches. This means you edit it, you publish it, you do the SEO, you do the blog posts, you do the social media posts, you do all of the audiograms, you do the whole thing so that they don't have to think about it. But you're not just doing you're not just doing their podcast, right? You sell it like you are actually helping them get visibility, you're helping them get more leads. So you tie it to whatever it is that they want in their business. And because you're doing the whole thing, you're taking all of that pressure off them. So they actually feel like, oh my gosh, like we finally don't have to worry about visibility. Now we can worry about our delivery. So flip that and work that example into whatever it is that you do and think about how you can provide not just a Band-Aid solution, but the whole solution. And don't get stuck in people won't pay for that, because I promise you, the right people will pay for that. If you can save a business time and money, they will pay for whatever it is that you are selling. If you can show them how it's helping their bottom line, they will pay you that money, because business owners of a certain point, they pay to go faster, right? They don't have time, they have the money and they know what their goal is. And if you can help them get there and they don't have to think about it, oh my goodness, like take my money. So that is what we're after. That kind of like, I want your thing. What is that high ticket, all inclusive offer for you? So if you need to go back to your If you need to go back to your guiding star, then go back to your guiding star. But that's what you're after, a high ticket, all-inclusive offer. For Jada, that meant that her monthly recurring revenue average per client went from from $550 a month on average across all of her clients. Some were charging $2,000, some were charging like $200. Moved from $550 to $2,500 per month on average per client. That's massive, right? That's massive. Are you going to lose clients along the way? Potentially, yes. Do we help in our agency academy people to actually move people through this process and back up what they're doing and moving to a different sort of package? Yes, of course. There is a way to pitch the service, but you have to tie it back to how you're going to help that bottom line. How are you going to save that company time and money? If you can't tie your service to that, keep going, keep brainstorming what that offer is. And again, book a call with me. I'll tell you at the end how to do that. If you want to brainstorm this, or brainstorm it in the chat. How are you going to make your clients more time, more money? How are you going to tie it? How are you going to communicate what you do to that? All right, so that's the first thing. Let's talk about, basically, hang on, it's not the first thing. So it is, this is this is the summary slide, which is simplify to amplify. We don't need to do more things. You just need to do one thing. All you need is one offer done really, really well. And again, when in my podcast production example, that doesn't mean you just do one little thing. You're actually doing lots of things, but it's one whole process for one client. And when you charge according to the value, you're not having to fill up your calendar with all of these clients, because you've got more money per client. You've got the time to spend. You've got the time and money you've got the money then to outsource the bits that you don't want to do, and you can still make a healthy profit margin. This high ticket all-inclusive offer is good for everybody. It's good for you because you get paid more and you don't have to work as much. It's good for that client because they get that whole thing taken off their plate. They get results. They refer you on, they stay for longer. Like, this is good for everybody. This high ticket all-inclusive offer is great for everyone. And again, you might lose clients if you don't have the ideal clients. If you've got those penny pinching clients who are really worried about every single cent, they're probably more work anyway. And we can repackage what you're doing to target different clients, to target the ones that buy based on value, because they are out there, I promise you. And they're not penny pinching, they're not micromanaging, they're a delight to work with. All right, that's number one. Number two, deep breath. Where's my water? I'm gonna have a sip. How are you going in the chat? Tell me how you're going. All right, so that was our business by design. That's how we design a business that actually supports you and your life, not the other way around. Now we're talking about our funnel. We need to build you a marketing machine. Yay, marketing machine. And this is like a Rubik's Cube, right? If you know anything about Rubik's Cubes, I didn't until my kids got them for Christmas last year, and then I learned all about them very quickly. There is actually a formula to a Rubik's Cube. You need to do the white cross first, and then you do the bottom row, and then you do the next row, and then you do the top row. So there's a structure, and there are certain methods for doing it. So you would think, like, I just thought that it was by luck, right? That's what I thought, that you just move it around and hope that you get there eventually. But there's actually a strategy. If you want to move a square from the bottom left to the top right, then there's a formula for that, which is like turn this 3 times to the right, then flip this way, and then flip this to the left. And I don't know them clearly because I'm, mumbling. My 11-year-old is incredible. She can do one of these things now in like less than a minute. The point is that there's a formula, and it takes a while to crack it. And once you crack it, you're done. At the start of your business, or if you don't have a funnel yet, this is the hardest part in your business, is the marketing. It's getting this funnel working. Once you have this funnel working, everything else in the business becomes harder. It's the service delivery. It's the people aspect. It's the operations that become the more difficult part to manage as you scale. And the marketing becomes the easier part. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it becomes the easier part once you know the formula, once you have the 1 + 1 = 2 for you, your offer, your clients. It's different for everyone. Even as a marketer, working with dozens of clients at the same time for 7 years, like hundreds of clients across different capacities, I still am testing every single day. I'm still testing. So it's not that you arrive at knowing exactly what this is going to be. You will learn what it is for that offer for you after you trial and trial and trial and trial and test and optimize and test and optimize. And that is why we have multiple month containers of coaching. It's not just a one and done, because building a business is not like the whole Rome wasn't built in a day thing is true. It takes time to figure this out. But once you have this dialed in, it becomes a machine. And you know, okay, I spend $50 on ad and I get a phone call. Or I spend, I'll give you some examples in a minute, but there's you will end up knowing what your input has to be, what your activity has to be for your output that you want. It's different for all of us. There are certain principles that I'm going to guide you through, but there's nothing that you can do to make this go faster except for get out there and run the reps. And this is where I see people get stuck. They are afraid of one of these aspects and they don't do it enough. And so then they think that their marketing doesn't work, and then they stay satisfied with not making as much money as they should. We have to separate ourselves from our businesses. You are not your business. If you get rejected in your business, if your business gets rejected, it's because it's not the right time or offer for that person. It's got nothing to do with you. It's not a personal attack. As a marketer, I learned that pretty quickly, that even like my best, most like incredible ideas, right? People might not want them. And that's okay. Because we get to test and we get what I think is amazing. Maybe the public doesn't. So what do we need? There's 3 circles. That means there's 3 different components that we're talking about here. First off, we need to connect with people. How are you going to get in front of new people? And I haven't got this on here, so you're going to need to write it in. The first round circle, that's what it's called, you can tell it's end of summit, is connect. How are you going to connect? You need to get in front of new people every single day or every single week. How are you doing that? How are you doing that? How are you getting in front of new people? I'm just going to message my husband because he's here. And I don't want all of my crazy children coming in. Okay, done, sorted. I saw the car pull up. I'm like, oh no, 4 children incoming, not a good idea. All right, so the first one is connect. How are you going to get in front of new people? This is not content, people. This is not, he's driving off. Yay for text messaging. This is not your content, okay? This is visibility. How are you getting in front of new people? So for the speakers of this summit, they're getting visibility by speaking. How can you leverage other people's platforms? That's one way of getting in front of new people, right? Every one of these speakers is getting in front of my audience. That's visibility. That's not their content on their platform. First up, you need to get in front of new eyeballs. That you can do that through ads. You can do that through other people's audiences. They're the best 2 ways to do that. Pick one. Don't do 2. Pick one way that you'll do consistently. If you want to get in front of other people's audiences, great. Who are you pitching to every single day? Who can be a referral source for your business? What podcasts do you want to get on, or what masterminds do you want to talk in, or, there's which way are you going to get in front of new eyeballs every single day? Connect. The second circle is cultivate or communicate. Talk, like there's 2 C words that you could use here. We're going with the C theme. So if you need to cultivate that relationship. So you see someone somewhere on the summit. So say you see Kellyanne on the summit and you go, oh my gosh, I really want to teach my child how to read. You need to then you're going to go over and look at Kellyanne's website. You're going to find her on social media and you're going to then be following her, right? In order for this cultivate to work, There needs to be content there. There needs to be some sort of communication. There needs to be, and that might just be her website, but it might be blogs, it might be a podcast, it might be social media. There's so many different ways that a relationship can be cultivated online through our marketing. You don't have to do social media if you don't want to. Don't let anybody tell you that there's something that you have to do. There's not. How are you cultivating the relationship with people already in your world? Are you doing email marketing? Again, pick one way. Please just pick one way. If you have multiple buckets, you're going to be less effective. So just pick one way that you are going to cultivate relationship with your audience. You can add things on once you've nailed it, but just one way. The third one is convert. How are you going to convert them? Is it that you ask people to book a call? Is it that you have a call funnel on your website? Is it that you do a webinar? Is it that you do a masterclass? Is it that you, have a long sales page? How do you convert sales? One way, just one way. That's your marketing machine, right? One way for each. One way to connect with new people, one way to cultivate that relationship, one way to convert them into clients. One way of each. Marketing machine, know what your input is. So for example, maybe you need to get in front of 1,000 people to get 10 new followers. And maybe of those 10 followers, you start communicating with them in the DMs. Maybe you need to have 100 conversations to get one phone call. Maybe you need 3 phone calls to convert a client. And that's your Rubik's Cube. Then you know, okay, I need to get in front of 3,000 people at the start, top level, and have conversations with 30 of them to get one client. Now that number those numbers are going to be really different for each of us. There are certain benchmarks around what we're aiming for in each one of those things. Ask me if you want to know for your industry or for your method that you're using. Download the 6-Figure Freelancer guide from my website. So you can go to my Instagram and get it from there. It will give you a really long list of things to choose from each one of these things. So that you can be like, yeah, that one sits well with me. That one sits well with me. That one sits well with me. Your marketing machine is one of each. Connect, cultivate, convert. Okay? Let's keep going or we're going to run late. Oh, that's a blank case study. All right. An example of this is Marie. Marie is in our agency academy. She connects with people on LinkedIn. That is her thing. She moves people then into a connect call with her. She doesn't want to be doing a heap of social media. So she moves them from LinkedIn to a connect call from the DMs. Then she keeps in touch with them on social media, right? She's liking their stuff. She's engaging. She's commenting. She's like building relationship on socials. That's her thing. That's what she's good at. And then she runs ads in the background for people to book a call with her. So anyone who's engaged with her sees ads to book a call. Any content she does is in relation to book a call. Her conversion is 20 conversations. I think it's 1 call, not 2 call. Equals 1 call. 20 conversations is 1 call. I don't know why I did 2 call. That's me doing my slides instead of my EA. See what happens when you do the wrong things. You've got the wrong bit right there. I can't even talk. All right. Anyway, that's this. So that's the case study for the marketing machine. No, you have to do the testing. No, figure out what works for you. Figure out what you're going to be consistent with. Stick to one thing. Again, coming back, simplify to amplify. That's what gets you results. Next one, I'm running short on time. Okay. Team. Team is the third thing that we're talking about today. This is the support. This is how you grow. This is how you get freedom in your business, right? This is how you not do everything, because I don't know one business owner who wants to do every single thing. If you are curious about the hiring process, then listen in to the the session I did with Anna yesterday. You'll see it in the group. It's about the power of outsourcing. Anna owns a VA recruitment agency, and she talks about the power of outsourcing. I'm going to need a sip of water. And a lot of people are terrified of outsourcing, right? Because if you get team wrong, then you are paying team that don't pull their weight. If you do this well, you get to do what you love, and you get to have your business run without you to the level that you want, right? Some people really want to be involved. Some people really want to be not. So there's everything from you are your business all the way down to totally passive income in terms of you do the work to set it up once and then you run ads or you have something evergreen. So there's that whole spectrum and you get to choose. I love being in my business and speaking to clients and doing some of the work. Do I want to do everything? No. Am I good at attention to detail? As you can see from the last slide, no. My team do that. How do we make sure that we can trust our clients with our team? Well, it comes down to this approach, which is training, mentoring, coaching. So they start off at the bottom, right? There's no trust, no responsibility. That's where we start them. We need to have an incredibly detailed, robust system to train your person in the way that you want your business to run. Now, again, going back to my session with Anna, we talked about this a bit. What this often is like a training program, like a 30-day training program for your staff. It doesn't have to be like day one, you do this, day two, you do this, but you know that in those 30 days that they're going to be reading through some of your policies, procedures, looking at all of your clients' websites, looking through your Monday board, your project management system, looking through some of your files, looking through some of your, like, this is who we are as a people. This is how we speak to clients. This is not how we speak to clients. They're going to be training. And they're going to be learning, and your project management system is going to have videos and checklists for every single task you want them to do. You have to have more detail in there than you think. I did this the wrong way, and if you don't tell your staff what good looks like, they can't give you good. If you don't tell them what good looks like, they can't do it well. They're not mind readers. You have to tell them what good looks like if you want them to do good work. So that's that training process. And as they learn more, they're going to get more trust and they're going to get more responsibility. What the mistake I see lots of people making is that they throw their team into the deep end and they expect, and I did this, right? They expect their team to be able to perform, but their team's like, I don't even know what I'm doing because I haven't been taught. And so make sure that you over deliver in terms of explaining. You over explain, as Anna said, what the tasks are and what they need to do. So you're training them and then you're mentoring them. So first it's like they do it exactly as you do it. Then maybe they do it first and you review it. You're mentoring them. You're telling them how to improve. And then in the end, they're telling you and you're just coaching them along the way. This is a really robust process with 20 steps. I don't know exactly how many, as a framework that we teach inside Agency Academy to our clients who are building agencies. But this graph is hopefully enough to show you that process. So I know team can be really scary, but you're not just throwing them in. You're really going step by step, training, walking alongside them, lots more than you probably think that you need to do. Again, everything's going to take longer and take more work than you kind of think that it's going to, including training your team. But when you get to the point that you don't have to do the thing and you know they're going to do it well, it's honestly incredible because you get to go and do what you want to do. This is how I get to work part-time and travel half the year with my family. Because I have these processes set up and I've got the right team in the right roles. Okay, so a case study is me. So I went from this is 4 years ago. I don't even remember. 4 years ago. Yeah. I had a team of 9, but I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. Why? Because I'd hired junior staff members and I hadn't trained them properly. It was not their fault. It was my fault. I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to train. I grew so quickly that I was like, great, I'll hire you. And I just assumed that they knew how to do it. And if they didn't, then I had to fill in the gaps, right? Because as the CEO, the buck stops with you. It's your responsibility. Even if they make a mistake, it's your responsibility. It is. We need to own it. Radical responsibility as a business owner. That CEO mindset, remember, not the employee, a CEO mindset. So what did I do? I reorganized my team. I put the training and processes in place. And now, like I mentioned, I get to work part-time. I get to travel the world with my family. And I couldn't do that if I didn't have the right team in place. Could I still have a business? Yes, but I would have to do everything myself, and I don't want to. That's not my idea of a good time. So you don't have to have a gigantic team. Now my team is 5, and it's an incredible team, and we are all in our specific areas that of our zone of genius, and it works well. And you can only do this if you reverse engineer it, going back to our guiding star, knowing what we're going to need, what we want to earn, how much we want to work. Our team is going to be what allows us to do that, our team and our systems. So back to the business audit, right? Back to our CEO framework. What I've talked about today is only 3 components of this. Only 3 components. And of course, we could go so much deeper, so much deeper into each one of these areas and more. So come back to your business audit and have a look again at what areas you made green, what areas you made yellow, and what areas you made red. Which of those are you going to act on straight away? Which ones are you going? What are those 3 things that you are going to implement right now? Which are the 3? I know I've hurried through this at the end of it. If you don't know what those 3 are, then you can book a strategy call with me. Or if you want to know how I can help you actually implement them, book a strategy call with me. I didn't even put the link here. Attention to detail, people. Told you. I'm going to do it in just a second. Actually, I'm going to come through here now. I've got my 2 screens again. Too many screens and tabs and all the things. So if you want to book a call, it's anneliseworn.com/consult. Okay, let me just shove that on the screen. Look at me go. Okay. What we're going to do on the call is we're going to review your marketing and your sales and your calendar. What we're going to do is we're going to determine by looking at those things what is and what isn't working for you right now. Then we're going to figure out from that what the number one thing that's holding you back from your next level is and what's possible for you in the next 90 days. Then we're going to create a 3-step action plan. Remember, we said those 3 steps, a 3-step action plan to fast track your way to your dream revenue and free up more time on your calendar. So the link is there. If you are not sure what your 3 things are, then book a call. Feel free. It's free. Again, there's no pitch on the call. Or if you have no idea and you have a business, you need a business in order for me to do this, book a free strategy call. It's a 30-minute call. We're going to go and review your marketing. We're going to figure out the one thing that's holding you back. And then we're going to create a 3-step action plan to removing that so that you can have the business that you want. Thank you so much for being here today. Thanks. This was fun. I was rushed. I haven't run this presentation in quite a while. I ended up going a little bit faster than I thought, but that's fun. So pop any questions that you have in the chat. I cannot wait to see your responses to everything in the chat. I'm here. If I don't respond, tag me. Sometimes with all the things going on in Summit, there's comments or things that gets missed. If you want to email my team, it's info@anneliseworn.com. I will get that email. That will be forwarded on to me. So I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you so much for being here at the Summit. This is the close of the Summit, guys. Everything's going to be up for the rest of the week until Monday, Sunday, if you're in America. And that's it. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be able to offer this. And I hope that you have felt inspired to take the reins on your life and craft a business that truly gets you to live that life, because you really can. It's so achievable. I hope that this presentation let you see that it's just a simplified, it's just a few simple decisions, right? knowing exactly what your guiding star is, knowing what you want, and then crafting a really simple plan to get there and getting the right people around you. And it is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's completely achievable. If you can listen, if you can hear me, you can create the business that gets you that life that you want. I promise you can. And if you want help, book a call. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and I'll see you next time.